extremely important. Thank you so much for your insights. And now we have our next speaker. We continue this amazing conversation with Ms. Zarina Mirabdullayeva, Regional Coordinator for Europe and Central Asia, United Nations Volunteers Program. And again, cheers to our volunteers here. We get compliments on their amazing job. Thank you so much. And maybe you can also reflect on the point on how volunteer networks can actually impact this process. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Well, first of all, let me thank not only the government of Azerbaijan, but also the people of Baku. I think everyone will agree that we have been feeling very welcome and truly incredibly to be here. Thank you so much to everyone. And of course, thank you for this panel to giving a voice to an incredibly important part of civil society that sometimes, unfortunately, stays silent. And I truly thank and appreciate every speaker today who spoke about volunteers. So, dear volunteers, thank you very much for your hard work and for helping us out. So, I'm going to start with a few questions to the audience. And let's picture, God forbid, a situation where there is a crisis in a society. It could be a catastrophe, a flood, something bad happening. Who are the first people, the first responders, usually on the ground before any kind of officials are there? Or let's think about underrepresented people in the community who usually don't have a voice. Who are the first people to come and help? Or even here today, the moment from when you first walked into the World Urban Forum, when you took your badge, when you were looking for the building that you were supposed to be at, who were the people that helped you through and through? And answer to all of this question is, of course, volunteers. And this is why I think the discussion here is very important, because a lot of the times, for the work you do, they are actually your hands, and they're there to support you. But I think it is a very important time, and especially now, I hope all of you know that 2026 is the International Volunteer Year, so for sustainable development. So I think this is exactly the time to start including volunteerism into the decision making, into the policy making, because it is, of course, very good and useful to talk about them during events like I'm doing now. But really, if we want to see their contribution, if we want to acknowledge it, and if we want to continue its development, they really need to start to be a part of a bigger picture, of a bigger discussion, of a bigger policy making. And this is actually why the International Year was created, was proposed, that we start looking at them as this big force that truly contributes to the sustainable development of the world. And so when we talk about cities being inclusive, volunteerism, of course, cannot stay on the side. It needs to be a part of the decisions that we make, because otherwise they are exactly the people who see what is happening on the ground. So truly the solutions that we're trying to find, all of us here today, they don't come from reports, they don't come from official papers, they truly come from the ground. And usually people on the ground are volunteers in a lot of cases. So please use this International Volunteer Year as an opportunity to ask some very practical questions. How do we recognize volunteers properly? How do we support them better? How do we make sure their experience is heard when decisions are made? And how do we include volunteerism in local and national development plans, not as an afterthought, but as one of the forces that help make those plans real? Because volunteers really do more than just give their time. They help cities listen better, they help communities act together, and they remind us that a city becomes truly inclusive when people are not only served by it, but are part of shaping it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And our next speaker is Mr. Fuad Karim.